Alright there, listen up there YouTube. This is Chip here with the Iconic Sports Cycle Motovlog, episode number 3. Well, I think I'll take you guys out from the south end of Merritt Island. I'll take you down a nice scenic tour today. We're heading for the Mathers Bridge here. You can see the nice boating area, the marina. The very southern tip of Merritt Island is just it's in the Merritt Island's in the middle of the Intercoastal Waterway over here. We'll be able to see it here in just a few minutes as we come over the bridge. This is the Mathers Bridge. Right over here, just on the other side of the bridge to the right, there used to be a restaurant there called the Mathers Bridge Restaurant, where you could actually pull your boat right up to the dock and jump up and have some fish, fries, burgers, whatever. Unfortunately, it was an old building and it's no longer there, but it was a kind of a cool place to eat and bring your family and friends to, and they visited down here in Florida. One of the things you'll find about this route is it's really nice, it's pleasant to ride. However, the speed limits are pretty slow, creepy most of the way, and it is heavily enforced by the local law enforcement. So we're not going to be doing anything speedy today. A gentleman out checking his mail. And so we're just going to take a quick ride down here, watch a speed bump. There'll be a few of those along the way. And we'll enjoy the ride. And you can see the to the left is the Intercoastal Waterway, it's the river. And to the right is the other side of the river. Like I said, Merritt Island is just kind of right there in the middle of the waterway here. There are a couple of causeways heading over to the island. The southern tip here to Mathers Bridge is a small one, and they have two major causeways that over the main section of Merritt Island, one on 520 and one on the 528B line. So there's many accesses to Merritt Island, but this is the most pleasant of the three. It gives you the opportunity to see the more scenic, laid-back area of Merritt Island. Now, this is a really small strip of land on this end. Just on the other side of the houses here, I don't know if you can see it or not, is water. Past the bicyclist here. You'll see a lot of bicyclists down here as well. So yes, like I said, a lot of bicyclists down here because it is a pleasant area to tour on a bike or a motorcycle. You'll see people out here walking their dogs and just taking walks because it is just so nice down here. I'm going to slow down here. Looks like we got a little construction going on. And just be careful. Alright, doesn't look like anything's coming, so I'll head on around. Alright, so like I said, it's a really tight road, and just on the other side of these homes, like I said, there is water. And so, like I said, it is. Some of these homes have a frontal water view on both sides. There is no road access road on the other side. It is all water. So, like I said, it is. It is a nice place to live. You can see these homes are really nice. I'm going to slow down for another speed bump. Hold on. There we go. So, I thought it would be a nice place to take you for a ride. Anytime you get a chance to cut down here to the Merritt Island area, if you're on a bike. Highly recommend this ride. It's it's really pleasant. There's got some winds in the road. I mean, it's not really windy. The speed limits are kind of slow, but again, it is a nice ride. I've always enjoyed it since first moved to Florida. I first got a bike down here in Florida. I've been riding this road. It's always been nice. Actually, my wife is dropping off my niece in Orlando at the train station, so she's going to be home a little bit late, so I thought I'd take the more scenic route home, so I'm getting the opportunity to enjoy the ride. No need to hurry up and get home, but she's not going to be there when I get there, so that's no fun in that. So I'm going to just enjoy the ride and maybe get something to eat along the way. But like I said, I thought I'd just share this with you. The other thing I thought I'd share with you is a little review of my motorcycle. I have the 2014 CB1100. It's the Honda. If you're not familiar with that, it's the retro-looking motorcycle that they came out with for 2013 here in the States. Oh, poor little doggy. And in 2013, they were red and silver, and they had 5 speeds. And in 2014, they were black. They had a blacked out engine case, which I really find kind of cool. and they came with a 6-speed, so it's quite a good performer. The engine doesn't make a lot of horsepower, it's only 86 horsepower, but you got about 60 foot-pounds of torque from 2 to 2,000, or about 7,500 RPM. So it pulls really well. It's really, really easy to ride because of that. You don't have to downshift, upshift a lot. It just kind of pulls right along. For instance, I'm doing 30 miles an hour and I'm in 5th gear, and it's just chugging right along, no problem. So it's a pretty nice bike for cruising. Again, it's got the universal Japanese motorcycle riding position. So you're kind of sitting upright, you're not leaned over, and your knees aren't pulled back. So I do like that, but at my age, it's kind of wears me out over the longer rides. The short rides are fine, but the longer ones, it kind of wears me out. But it does actually perform quite well. It's got tall, narrow tires, so 18-inch. So it's very, very much retro in that it has a feel of the bikes I used to have in the 70s and 80s. In fact, the thing that probably most attracted me to this bike, or the reason I bought it, well, kind of an interesting story of how I came to buy the bike. I actually went into the local Honda dealer to buy a replacement face shield because I got some scratches on the face shield of the helmet I bought there. And I saw they had the new CB650 that just came out, and they had a blue one with the black wheels in the showroom by the parts counter. And I just saw that, and I was just drooling all over it. And I thought, oh man, what a beautiful bike! I really like to know more about that bike. And so I told one of the salesmen that I'd be back to talk to him about it. And I set an appointment and came back. And then when I came back, they had this bike, and it was a couple bikes behind it. And I said, when I got there, I said, what about this bike here? And he said, well, I don't think you'd like that one. It's not really a sport bike. It's not what you used to. But the more I looked at it, the more I thought, that's me. That bike reminds me so much of the bikes that I had. The chrome fenders, and the blacked out engine cases, the 4-in-1 header on the inline air-cooled 4-cylinder. I mean, it was just so retro and so much reminded me of the bikes that I've had growing up. So we got to talking, and we did some numbers on the 650, and I said, hey, just for the heck of it, let's do some comparison numbers on the Honda CB1100. So we did, and turns out, even though the CB1100 was a little bit more expensive because it's not classified as a sport bike, it qualified for a little bit of interest rate, so my payments really weren't that much more for the more expensive bike. So I decided, hey, maybe this is the way I should go. Drove it out of there, no regrets. Of course, the day I drove it out, it got rained on, but hey, what can't get rained on the first day, whatever, I drive every day, rain or shine, so it doesn't really matter. I guess I got it broken in right. So ever since then, that was about 6 months ago. I've got now about 11,300 miles on it. Done a couple services on it. It's been a great bike. I mean, it just operates flawlessly. It's very comfortable. It absorbs the bumps well. It still steers really well. It doesn't. Doesn't have such a stiff suspension. Oh, it looks like I've got a peacock in the road. Check this out. This is a common sight here on Merritt Island, especially down the southern end. I mean, I hope you're getting a good look at this. But you got some peacocks down here. You'll hear them screaming sometimes out here. Now, my wife thinks it's funny, but I always told her in the event of the event that the world comes to an end that I'd be eating the peacocks, and she said, well, you can't eat a peacock, and I said, well, sure you can. It's just a pimped out turkey to me. So we get that kind of little joke going on about that. But again, back to the bike. My bike is something I've enjoyed immensely. I've had a lot of different bikes. Again, I've had Harleys and BMWs, and there was things I liked about all of them, but for whatever reason, this is so far has been my favorite bike. My 404 Super Sports as a kid. When I was a kid, that was the bike for me. It performed really well. It was a lot of fun. I could push it really hard, and I never got into trouble because it wasn't over powerful where it got me into trouble fast, but it was powerful enough where I could ride it hard. The old adage stands where it's more fun to drive a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. But I can tell you, especially my first CB400, when I did the I did a lot of modifications to it. It was pretty darn quick, actually. My second one I bought, had plans to kind of remake my first bike. But it was so perfect. I just couldn't bring myself to tearing it apart and, you know, modifying it. I kept it stock. I drove that for quite a few years. I think what I'll probably do, I have some video of it. I think I might overlap it onto this this video so that maybe you can see the comparison. Again, you know, the comparison between the body style, the riding position of the bike, pretty strong comparison there. Again, you know, I have a retro. My wife has a retro car. She has the new body style Volkswagen Beetle. You know, we enjoy it immensely, but you know, it harkens back to a time when, you know, we were younger and, you know, life was more fun. So hey, we're getting up in our age. You know, like I said, we're great grandparents now, so we're remembering our youth through some of the vehicles. You know, maybe some of my friends think, hey, maybe I'm too old to be riding a bike every day, but you know, I really enjoy it. You know, if I had to make, and basically, a while back I did have to make a choice. Do I sell my truck that gets 15 miles to the gallon, or do I sell my bike that gets 50 miles to the gallon? You know, we had to cut back on some expenses, and I decided, hey, I'll buy some rain gear, I'll buy some cold weather clothing, and I'll just ride the bike and sell the truck. So it made more sense at the time, and it still makes more sense, and I never regret the decision. It's been a really great bike for me. Again, I drive from Titusville to Melbourne every day. It's about a 70-mile round trip. So it's a really, you know, it's really benefited me have a bike. You know, it's less expensive for insurance, gasoline, payments. I mean, for a $300 a month bike payment, I mean, if you have a car for $300 a month, you're not getting a whole lot of car. Probably, in fact, you're probably getting a whole lot of trouble for that kind of money. So, like I said, you can get you know, quite the bike for that. Again, didn't put anything down. I traded in a bike with some negative equity, so my payments are probably a little higher than I would like, but still, you know, still not bad. Still very manageable for me. But again, I don't know if you can see the bike from here. You know, mostly what you're seeing is over the handlebars. But it is very retro. Like I said, if I can find a spot up here a little bit, maybe I can pull over and just do a quick walk around, kind of point out some of the things about it. This is a nice road to ride in a car too, or even if you had a convertible. I've had a couple of convertible cars where just riding down this road, or I had a couple of old International Scouts that were convertibles. I used to like riding down the road here. So if you're ever down this way, again, South Merritt Island, so this is called South Tropical Trail. I'm sure you can Google it, find your way here. It's really nice. There's another road off of here that takes you through some winding. If I can find it coming from this direction, it takes you through, it's called Crooked Mile. A lot of nice homes, again, real slow speed limits, but really a beautiful ride. As you can see, the sun's starting to go down, so it's starting to get a little dark. Actually, looks like it might have just gone behind a cloud there. It's really not all that light. It's about 6:30. You know, and it's you know, it's kind of springtime, so it's not, you know, not getting dark quite yet. So this is my third motovlog. First actually, I did a couple videos before from the bike with the GoPro, and actually did a few before that with what they call the fan cam, the flip video, just to kind of get a feel for it. First couple of ones, wind noise was really too bad. I couldn't really get, couldn't do any voiceover. It was just too windy, too much wind noise. Couldn't hear what I was saying. But since then, the last two, I've had a mic hooked up. It seems to be working a lot better. You know, the audio came out pretty clear in the last one, so hopefully I'm having a similar luck on this one, that the audio is coming out and you'll be able to hear my description of where I'm at. Again, this is South Tropical Trail in Merritt Island. Beautiful drive. You can see out here in the river there's actually a couple of smaller islands. They're uninhabited. You know, they're kind of, you know, much smaller. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Now across from there, that's Cocoa Beach over across the river. Now on the other side of Cocoa Beach is of course the ocean. So, you know, like I said, the intercoastal causeway, the intercoastal waterways is kind of cool, where you got strips of land. You know, you've got beachside property, you got riverside property. You know, kind of makes for a nice, pleasant place to live, or a nice, pleasant place to ride around. Yeah, we've got another cyclist. So, you know, like I said, if you ever get out this way, well worth the ride out here. a lot of people on this area, they have you know, both stock. Now, of course, you have water on this side, but just on the other side of these homes, yeah, guess what? You have water again. So it's all, this is all surrounded by the river. The other end of the island is there's a causeway here, and halfway through there's a causeway that'll take you back to the mainland either side. You know, take you back to the mainland or beach side. A lot of these homes down here, some of them have been here for a really long time. Some of them are pretty new. A lot of them, the new ones, are designed to look like older ones, which is kind of cool. But again, well landscaped. You know, obviously this is an area, I don't live in this area. This is just an area I ride through. I don't have the checkbook to own a home like this, but I enjoy riding through and taking a look at it. Again, I think that anybody who's, you know, riding through the area would enjoy it. Again, you can see, you know, to my right, you know, a couple of smaller islands. Now, it's not unusual on the weekends to see people with their boats docked out on these islands. You know, they'll bring out, you know, picnic lunches or beer or whatever, and they'll just, you know, music, and they'll have a good time out there. Or you may see people out there on the wave runners and ski-doos. You know, it's kind of real popular down here. Another thing you'll see along the river here is a lot of guys do the either parasailing or the sailboarding. You know, we got a little bit of a breeze that runs through here. These sailboards can get really speedy through here. It's kind of cool to watch, you know, the multicolored, you know, sailboards. There's a crooked mile there. That's the road I wanted to take. Oh, it's too late now. I'll bring you down there another day. It's like I said, it is a pleasant ride. Something well worth the effort to make a ride through there. I usually catch it from the other way coming from Tropical Trail. But I'm more familiar with, you know, getting onto it from that direction. Like I said, I'm heading home from work and just you know, coming home a more scenic route. I'll probably stop and get something to eat. I haven't decided yet, you know, what I'm going to get yet, but you know, by the time my wife gets home, it'll be too late to have dinner there, and I'm sure she'll stop on the way, you know, coming back from Orlando and get something. So here I am at the I'm starting to run out of things to say. Actually, like I said, I'm pretty quiet, you know, pretty quiet person. I'm not very talkative in general, so for me to kind of blabber on is kind of exceptional. You know, I'm not really that person that does a lot of talking, but I'm trying to get used to it. I'm trying to learn to be interesting. Again, when I'm riding around, just listening to my thoughts inside my helmet, not really probably a good combination where, you know, got these thoughts in my head, you know, it doesn't, and these little voices, and the little voices, you know, I don't know, I don't understand them. I don't think they're speaking English. Most of them sound really angry, so I figured probably best not to listen to them anyway. So, you know, when you're on your bike, you're not listening to music or talking to anybody. Every once in a while, my wife rides with me. I'm getting over here to South Tropical Trail. This is a really pleasant ride. The other way, you know, it takes you to State Road 3, you know, which is also pleasant, but I like this ride a little better. We'll be coming up here on the church on the left here. The church on the left here is where the other end of the Crooked Mile comes out. You see a biker coming out of there now. I'm sure that they enjoyed the ride, because it is, like I said, it is a really pleasant ride. As you can see, as you know, turn to the left, you see water through the opening there. Again, the Merritt Island surrounded by water. The river is in the middle of the intercoastal waterway here. So I'm heading, you know, west. You know, so I'm heading towards the center of Merritt Island. I will take the causeway, you know, back over to the mainland when I get there. But again, if I see a spot where I can pull over safely and show you my bike, I'll do that. Again, it's a bike that I really enjoy. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a bike that's retro. I know there's a lot of them out there now, and I look at them all on YouTube before I bought this one. I like the Royal Enfield, the Continental GT. It's got that real retro 60s cafe racer look. I like that. Probably one of my favorite retro bikes out there is the Triumph Thruxton. You know, that really has a really retro cafe racer look. It's got quite a following. If you go on YouTube, you'll find a lot of guys, you know, riding those and, you know, fixing them up. A couple of bloggers on them, especially over in England. I like the B7 Racer, the chrome gas tank and the aluminum and the red painted frame. I mean, that thing's really cool. It looks like somebody hand built that to their, it looks like a custom built, like somebody built that to their own specifications. So it's really cool. Of course, the the Moto Guzzi with the the V-twin, the way it is. It's not like a Harley V-twin where it's inline. It's the engine sticks out the side, which is really cool. It gives a kind of a unique look and a unique sound. So that's really cool too. Of course, there's always the Ducati Monster, which has been around for quite a while. It's I don't know if you call it a retro, but it's a naked, and that style bike has been around for a while. They kind of capitalize on that style bike. So that, and of course you've got Kawasaki had the one that, oh, look at that old Gremlin, that's pretty cool. Yeah, car nut, sorry. But they had the one that looked like the old Triumph. I forget what it was called, the W something, not coming to mind at the moment, but it was a really cool bike. And of course BMW just come out with their R9T. That's a retro looking roadster that they have. Really nice bike. It's gotten really great reviews. In fact, it's been reviewed against this bike with, I think it was motorcycle.com, did a comparison with this and the BMW and the Moto Guzzi Grisso. So it's kind of nice to be in company with bikes like that, to be included in a comparison like that, because those are really nice bikes. And again, for the price point, I think I got the the better end of that deal as far as pricing goes. But again, it's nice to be compared in a class of bikes like that. I think that overall, cause I've owned a BMW, I really enjoyed it. It was a fast bike. I mean, it was a K1300 super bike, so it was a fast bike. But cramped riding position, I blew my knee out taking Krav Maga. Yeah, something else an old guy like me should probably be doing. So I now have to wear a knee brace, which doesn't allow me the knee bend that I needed to ride that bike. So I had to make some adjustments in my riding. And again, this bike is very comfortable for me. The knee drop is good. The universal Japanese motorcycle seating position is just perfect for me. So I really enjoy. I went too fast, but I could have pulled over there, I guess, and did a walk around on the bike. So again, this has been a great bike for me. It may not be for everybody, but it is definitely a good bike for me. I'm glad I bought it. I'm glad that I chose this one. I can see myself riding this for a long time. Again, kind of a bike nut, so wouldn't mind having some other bikes, but I think I'm going to hang on to this one. I just like to add some to the stable. All right, guys, turn coming up here. Here we go. Whee! All right, I like the turns. What can I say? A little road construction up here, so I got to kind of be careful. Flagmen ahead, so like I said, this road is usually pretty heftily enforced by the local law enforcement, which is a good thing. They're looking out for you. I've got nothing against law enforcement. I have the greatest respect for law enforcement and the military. I think it's important what they do. Unfortunately, even I've been an idiot on the road. I'll admit it. I've done things that I really shouldn't have done. Been fortunate that I haven't spent a lot of time in traffic court. So, but again, they're there for our protection and the protection of others. So, I got to admire that. I'm sure it's not an easy job. So I always, whenever I'm, having an encounter with the law, I always try to be as respectful as I can. I hope that you'll do the same in the same event. But again, I keep the shenanigans down to a minimum, so that I'm not caught in that situation very often. So here I go, doing the again, starting to run out of things to say. Again, I'd love to find a place where I could pull over, do just a quick walk around the bike. Or actually, I have some video footage at home. I can compile them and maybe do an A/B comparison for you from my CB400 as compared to my CB1100. Like I said, the comparisons are striking. Honda did a great job in this retro bike. I know it was really more designed appeal to the guys that had the 750 Honda, the 754, or wanted one. You know, I had friends that had them. You know, I always wanted, I would have taken one if I could have got one, but there was something about the 401 exhaust on the original 404 Super Sport that really caught my attention, made me want one of those in the worst way. And like I said, eventually I ended up owning two. Now, actually, could have many of the you know, 404 bikes, you know, the kind of four-cylinder air-cooled bikes, like the 554 and the 354 and the 754, they all had 4-to-1 aftermarket. Hey, nice doggy. They all had aftermarket 4-to-1s available, but there was something about that original 4-to-1 on that Honda 404 that I really was attracted to, and that's why I kind of ended up with a couple of those. And again, no regrets. I enjoyed them both and put many miles on them. So again, no regrets there. So getting ready to, oh, you know, there's an old post office here that I can pull over for just a minute, take a quick walk around here. If I can get in there. Maybe not. So now I'm heading to the main Merritt Island Causeway. This is on the 520. I'll hang with you guys as I get over the bridge, but when I turn off, I'll probably shut off the headgear. But it'll give you an idea of what the nice tour was. Now this road actually, if you go across this light, will take you through like the North Tropical Trail, which is also a nice, pleasant ride. Not quite as nice, but still pretty nice. We would be in the more mainstream Merritt Island. Coming through 520 and Courtney up on the other end is the kind of the main strips up there. You know, got a lot of restaurants, you got malls, a lot of strip malls up there. So it's a really nice place to visit, especially if you're in the area. I mean, all the restaurants are out here. So most people, when they go out to date night, you know, lots of times they'll end up here on Merritt Island because there's just so many places to eat. You know, you got the Outback, you got you know, Applebee's, and you know, I mean, just about, you know, pretty much every you know major restaurant chain is out here. And I think they all do quite well. You get in there on a Friday night, you know, most of them are, you know, pretty busy. They got a lot of nice barbecue places, like you know, they got the Sonny's barbecue out there, which is nice. Of course, you got all the, you know, the usual fast food places, you know, Burger King, Wendy's, and you know, so forth. You got to go into the malls to get a Chick-fil-A. You know, I like the Chick-fil-A. I'll confess, I'm a Chick-fil-A addict. But I got to, you know, I don't like going to the ones in the mall. I'd rather go to the standalones. They're to me much more, it's easier to get in and out and enjoy the meal, whereas sitting in the food court isn't always the best option. So, but again, you know, Merritt Island's a, you know, great location to come visit. Like I said, water on both sides, so there's a lot of area. If you like to fish, man, this is a great place to fish. I don't fish myself, but my wife likes to fish, actually. And there's a lot of places you could just cast a line from the shore off some of the docks out here and catch some fish. In fact, when we're going over the causeway, you'll see some people down there fishing normally. There's you know, where it goes underneath the bridge there, there's a little area, like a dock area, where people do a lot of fishing. So this is it. We're heading for the causeway here. As you can see, there's the river. And you got some nice condos built right here on the river. You know, kind of blocking the view, but whatever. You know, if they can afford it. You know, but you know, again, it's, you know, it's a pleasant area. You know, you got the little bait shops here. You know, people go fishing right off the bridge. You know, actually not off the bridge, but underneath the bridge. You see the walking docks out there. People will cast a line right off there. So it's a really nice area. If you're ever down this way, I highly recommend it. Again, you can Google it. You know, it's pretty common in the area. You know, when you get to the area, most everybody knows how to get to Merritt Island. You know, during spring break or during you know, bike week, they get a lot of bikers down. You know, the main area for that is Daytona. But during the week that they're all down here, you'll see a lot of bikers coming up this way from around, you know, from everywhere. So if you happen to be from outside the area, you know, you're in Daytona for bike week or something like that, this is only about an hour away. You know, if you get tired of riding around Daytona, and Daytona has a lot of beautiful areas to ride, so I'm not saying it doesn't, but if you're just looking for something different, maybe you've been there a couple of years in a row and you kind of seen all the local sites and you want something different, it might not be a bad idea to, you know, head to the coastline down, head a little south, and see the sights down this way. I'm getting ready to turn onto the river road down here. Another of my favorite rides, but we'll do that one another time. But again, this is a Chip from the Iconic Sports Cycle motovlog. I hope you enjoyed the ride with me and enjoyed the conversation. I look forward to having more with you in the future. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Mm-hmm.